Hi besties, and welcome to my Esoterica. This is going to be a timeless love reading for the sign of Capricorn. So we're going to look at your energies, Capricorn, as well as the person you are connected to right now. Just get a little bit deeper and hopefully bring you guys some clarity when it comes to your love connections. So we're going to go ahead and get started with some animal spirit cards to sort of set the scene a little bit. And trust your judgment, trust your intuition. You'll know if this reading is for you. But do keep in mind that although I'm intending for your energies to come out first, it's happened where the energies get switched around. So you'll see which side you resonate with more if this is your reading. But I've gone ahead and shuffled all of your cards. So let's go ahead and see what comes out for you for our Capricorn. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so first things first, you guys got the hawk. So I get the sense that right now when it comes to this connection, you're very much trying to keep a higher perspective on things. That's very much hawk energy. Hawk energy also talks about seeing messages from spirit. So you may be becoming more attuned to synchronicities, things like angel numbers or things, meaningful coincidences happening for you or to you. Those are signs from spirit. So I feel like you're picking up on those more and more, coming into alignment more and more with those. We also have the gazelle. So I feel like you are a very beautiful and graceful person. That's kind of the essence of the gazelle energy. Very perceptive, very aware. So I feel like you are just, keeping tabs on things when it comes to this connection. You're not really, doing too much. You're not overacting or overreacting to things. You're just kind of taking it in stride. I feel like that's kind of what the gazelle energy is about. Let's see what else comes out for you. For our Capricorn viewer, please, Spirit, when it comes to this connection right now. On this cut, we have the shark. So this is something that needs to be revealed, something that's kind of been lurking underneath the surface, right, like a shark. Something dark you can see needing to come to light. So maybe you need to express something to your person if you've been kind of holding back. Something dark needs to come to light here. Let's do one more. What else we have, Spirit, for our Capricorn? Ooh, the hummingbird. So this is a very spiritually resourceful energy. The hummingbird is, very happy, but she also knows where to go to find nectar, to find sustenance. So I feel like you are, you know what you need to do to find your nectar, what you need to do to revitalize and rejuvenate yourself. And I feel like that's what you're doing. That's what you're focusing on. While, again, you're keeping a higher perspective on this connection and what it means, yada, yada, yada. All right, thank you, Spirit. Let's see what ends up on the bottom for you, and then we'll go ahead and see what comes out in the shuffle. Thank you, Spirit, for our Capricorn viewer. What else we got here? Ooh, the hyena. So the hyena is a very funny, witty, kind of dry personality type. So I feel like, you're kind of trying to find the humor in things at this point in time. Maybe you're being a little sarcastic, overly sarcastic, or just dry. But yeah, I feel like you're trying to keep yourself in good spirits. Again, with that hummingbird, you're trying to rejuvenate yourself and replenish yourself. And yes, something needs to come to light. You need to admit something. Again, this could be your person. We'll know more in a little while, but whoever this first person is, they're trying to keep light of the situation. They're trying to, again, find the humor in it and not take things so seriously. But interesting. All right, thank you, Spirit. Let's see what comes out for you, Capricorn, or maybe your person. But let's see what comes out for you for your animal spirit card. Thank you, Spirit. Let's look deeper into Capricorn's energy, please, right now when it comes to this connection. Capricorn's energy, please, when it comes to this connection. Thank you, Spirit. Ooh, the black egg. So far, again, this could be you or your person. But I feel like you, if this is you, you're very much focused on your truth and finding your truth and expressing your truth and living in authenticity. That's very much the essence of the black egg. This is a spiritual card out of the 4 classical elements. There's also a 5th in this deck, which are the spirit cards. So I get the sense that you are a very spiritually inclined person, and I guess you wouldn't be here watching tarot if you weren't. But yeah, very much in the space of trying to live and just exist from a place of authenticity and speaking your truth. Again, something needing to be revealed, that shark energy, right? So yeah, very much focused on your own truth, expressing your own truth, living authentically. That is your energy right now when it comes to this connection. I'll go ahead and read it from the book here. But yeah, so you guys are the black egg, I'm assuming. We'll find out again if it's switched around, but bear with me for a second. So the black egg here is speaking from an authentic voice and the truth. So the black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even light ones. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sounds draw us in, books draw us in, the concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself, and what is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every moment, in every situation. It is the epicenter of truth and the birthplace of our voice. The black egg also is correlated to the throat chakra here. So again, expressing a truth, speaking truth, letting that shark energy, letting something dark come to light here. But yeah, living in authenticity, whether that's connected to this person or knowing you need to take a step back from this person, either way, you're certainly trying to just live in alignment with yourself. But cool. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get one for your person now. Thank you, Spirit. Let's go ahead and look into the person Capricorn is attached to, the second energy in this connection. What do we have for the second energy? Ooh, okay. So first things first, we have the oyster. So we'll find out again if this black egg ends up being you or your person. But for the oyster, this is somebody who is kind of withdrawn, kind of holding back, kind of shy. But you can see, this person has light inside, something that they're working on. So I feel like, oysters in real life, they take irritants like sand and, stuff that gets in their way. And they utilize that to make a pearl, to make something beautiful. So this person could be working on something, again, whoever it is, it might be you, it might be a person. But they're working on something, you're working on something special to you, even if you're kind of holding your energy back from this person. On the cut here, we have the deer. So the deer is earth energy. The deer is divine feminine energy. So this side might end up being you after all. But the deer is kind of like the Queen of Pentacles of this deck. So very motherly, very secure, grounded, stable. So I feel like, if this ends up being you, that's the energy that you're focusing on for yourself. You could have a project that you're working on with the oyster card. But yeah, focusing on your own stability, your own growth, living in abundance, all the kind of Queen of Pentacles things. Let's see what else we have here. For the second person, please, Capricorn. Ooh, we have the mouse. So the mouse is kind of like shy energy or nervous energy. This is also somebody who likes to stay busy. So you could be trying to keep yourself busy, trying to distract yourself a little bit. You could feel a little anxious or agitated around this connection right now. That's the mouse energy. I'll do one more cut for you, and then we'll see what comes up on the bottom. Thank you, Spirit, for this second person, whoever the second energy is in this connection. We have the bat. So this is death energy. So certainly going through a big transformation, getting to a place where you're letting old versions of yourself, old thoughts, habits, relationships perhaps fall away, and making way for something new and beautiful to emerge from the ashes, more or less. Thank you, Spirit. Let's see what ends up on the bottom of the deck for our Capricorn viewer. Thank you, Spirit. The second energy in this connection, please. The unicorn. I think this might be you. But the unicorn is, connecting to divinity, rediscovering divinity. This is connected to the third eye chakra. So, spiritual awakening, spiritual upgrades, spiritual downloads. I feel like, again, whoever the second energy is very much attuned to things, or they're starting to ask the bigger questions, starting to ask why, the bigger spiritual why. But cool, very good energy to be in. Unicorns are beautiful. But okay, let's go ahead and see what comes out for you, for the second person in this connection. Thank you, Spirit. Let's go ahead and look deeper into the second person's energy in this connection. What animal spirit card best encapsulates where they are currently when it comes to this connection? Capricorn's person or Capricorn themselves, whoever it ends up being. A very specific card wants to come out, which is okay, but we're going to see what that ends up being. We'll zhuzh these around a little bit more. 2. We'll do one more. 3. Thank you, Spirit. The second energy in Capricorn's connection. The second person in this connection. What energy are they currently embodying when it comes to this connection? All right, thanks, Spirit. So we have the Cobra. Kind of popped out in reverse. But in the upright, the Cobra talks about waiting, pause, divine surrender. This is very much Hanged Man energy. And so I feel like the second person is just kind of waiting. So if you guys aren't in contact right now, this person is certainly, not taking any action. But I feel like, the Hangman is also new perspectives. And the Cobra talks about, reaching a place of inner stillness and silence and allowing, the divine teacher to show up and, start to follow that path or follow that voice. But again, there's a sense of holding back, a sense of waiting here. And it came out in reverse. None of the cards are really set up to come out that way in the deck. Octopus energy on the bottom. So since that came up, I feel like this Cobra person has been having a tough time with boundaries, feeling like they're losing direction or they don't have a sense of direction very much. And yeah, hard to keep boundaries up. So, they're very kind of clingy or just not giving you space that you need. Let's read what the Cobra says, because I'm interested in what it says in reverse. But this is fire energy, so fire is all about transformation on one hand, but your person may have significant fire placements. The Cobra. So, pausing, waiting, the inner teacher. So the Cobra represents a teacher or a spiritual guardian. The Cobra hovers and watches, ever present, ever protecting, ever loving. The essence of the Cobra is found deep within us in the form of the inner teacher and manifests externally in those special guides who've led us along our path. What would it feel like to be a student again? What are you ready to learn? Remember the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So I feel like, your person is kind of, yes, waiting, but like waiting for something to happen to them and not taking action, especially because this card came up in reverse. This is like, it says when out of balance, it's kind of a little know-it-all energy or kind of egocentric. So I feel like, they are taking a pause. They are, I guess, in a way, trying to find that inner stillness and sense of self. but it's not quite happening. I feel like there must be a blockage there, and they're kind of just really, again, kind of egocentric and focusing on, you know, just their stuff and what they can do to, I don't know. It's like they don't want to evolve quite yet, is what I'm getting, especially because this is in reverse, right? If the upright Cobra is being ready and willing to learn lessons and gain a new perspective, that Hangman energy. To me, the Cobra in reverse is like, I don't need to know these lessons. I don't need to do this. I don't need to wait for the teacher because I'm already doing what I need to be doing, even if it's not necessarily enough to get them where they need to go or need to be. So yeah, it seems like kind of like waiting in vain at the present moment. Like waiting and hoping something could happen, but not doing the work to make it happen, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's the energy so far for both sides here. It's kind of hard to tell which side is you so far. I want to say black egg, but then we had a lot of spiritual stuff come out for the Cobra side. That deer energy that came out made me think of you guys, also because it's earth energy, it's feminine energy as well. But again, take it how it resonates. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into this black egg person with some oracle cards. So thank you, Spirit. Can we look a little deeper into this black egg person's energy for our Capricorn viewers when it comes to this connection right now? So we have emotional storm on one hand, so definitely feeling like turmoil and like there is no being grounded in this connection because something's always kind of kicking up dust in your face a little bit is what I'm getting. We also have influences for this black egg person. So we have attachments, third parties, peers. So you could be connecting with friends at the moment, trying to, you know, find a sense of grounding within this connection in the best way you can, which is by reaching out to others and, you know, finding that solace in your tribe. You could also just be really focused on work or, you know, a personal project. Because third parties are not necessarily always romantic. They could be, and you could have a third party situation happening. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be, again, work. It could be friends. It could be family. But something outside of you is influencing this connection right now, or influencing how you're feeling about this connection, at least. Thanks, Spirit. Let's look a little more into this black egg person. What else do we have for this black egg person? We have family. So family could be part of those influences. Maybe you're talking with your family right now and trying to get emotional support from them. This could also mean that you saw this Cobra person as somebody you could have a family with. Some of you may have family with this person already, or children with this person. Take it how it resonates. Thanks, Spirit. I'm going to do one more cut, please, for this black egg person. For this black egg person in this connection right now. We have intuition. So if you remember on the cut, when we were doing your animal spirit cards, we got the hawk. So I feel like you are very much starting to lean, messages from spirit, sorry. But I feel like you're very much starting to lean into your intuition and trusting your inclinations, your inklings, trusting those messages from spirit, even if you have no logical basis for believing it. That's what faith is. So I feel like you're cultivating this sense of faith. You're trusting your intuition. You're seeing these messages, and you know you may be going through an emotional storm. Things may be kind of rocky, but I feel like overall you're very focused on, again, living in your truth and your authenticity, and yeah, letting your intuition lead the way. Cool. Let's see what ends up on the bottom of the deck for you. Thank you, Spirit, for this black egg energy. nourish. So yeah, very much focused on your own self, your own sense of self-worth, your own growth, soul finding, it says on here. So yeah, very much focused on, again, living in your truth, nourishing yourself, um, leaning into your intuition, all the right things, all the right things that you should be doing. So thank you, Spirit. Let's go ahead and look deeper into this black egg energy with 5 oracle cards. That's how I usually like to go. So thank you, Spirit. 5 oracle cards, please, for this black egg person when it comes to this connection. Thank you, Spirit. This black egg person when it comes to this connection for our Capricorns. Very specific cards again want to come out. Longing, open heart. Can't see what that one is yet. Thanks, Spirit. 2 more, please, for our Capricorn viewer for this black egg energy. 1 more, good judge. 2 more cards, please, Spirit, for this black egg person. Two more cards, please, Spirit. 1 more card, please, Spirit. Thanks. So on the bottom, we have boundaries. So I feel like you are very much in a place of trying to enforce your boundaries with this person. So you can, again, find solid ground in yourself in this connection. Because, again, I know you're going through that emotional storm. So I feel like in an attempt to kind of level things out, you are trying to draw boundaries with this Cobra person. Again, speak your truth, live in your truth, not let this person kind of overshadow you, because clearly they're having trouble with boundaries. Again, because that octopus energy was for them on the bottom. But I feel like just because they're having trouble with boundaries doesn't mean you're not trying to set them still. Let's see what came out for you. Emotional storm again. All right, you can't make this up. So definitely dealing with a lot. Second card we have is longing. So I feel like, you know, even if you guys aren't really talking right now, if you aren't communicating very much, if you guys are in a rough patch, I feel like you're still longing for this person. You still wish things could be better, different, you know, what have you. And I feel like you've been very kind and patient with this person because you have open heart here as more energy in your field. So I feel like you've been trying to be very empathetic to this person, trying to support them and show them that you're like there for them. But I feel like they haven't really been receptive to it in the ways that you'd hoped. And that's why you kind of have to get to a place now where you're like, okay, I've tried it this way. Now I'm just going to tell you the truth, tell you my truth like it is. And if you don't like it, then F off. We also have healing. So again, very focusing on releasing all the negative things that have probably popped up in this connection. That self-nourishment card that came out on the bottom. So very focused on your own healing right now. And yeah, releasing. So you're letting this go. Maybe you're letting this connection go. Maybe you're letting go of just expectations of this other person. Maybe, yeah, you're just walking away in general from this connection, from this person. Because I guess it seems like they're not learning anything. Again, with this Cobra energy in reverse. They're not learning the lessons that they need to, or they're not taking enough active action. They're not taking enough action. And I guess you're getting kind of tired of it. But yeah, you wish things could be different. But you know that you're not responsible for this person's healing, that they have to make those moves and changes on their own. And so you're like, okay, well, I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on my truth and living in my authentic self. And then, you know, if you want to come and try to find me later, cool. But I'm not going to sit here and wait for you. Because I've given you a lot of chances. I've given you a lot of opportunities. I've been open with you. I've let your feelings influence mine. And it hasn't gotten anywhere. So yeah, that's why you have to enforce those boundaries now. Because this person will drain your energy if you let them. If you keep letting them have unfettered access to you, they're going to continue to just take and take and take and take. Especially if they're not doing the work themselves that they need to do to grow and heal and evolve on their own. They'll definitely siphon your energy because it'll make them feel something. We all want to feel something, right? But okay. Thank you, Spirit. Let's go ahead and look at this Cobra person, please, when it comes to this connection right now. What are their feelings when it comes to this connection? We'll zhuzh these around a little bit and see what comes out. Thanks, Spirit, for this Cobra person, please. We have family again. So I feel like family could be a big part of their worldview right now, how they're coming at things. They could have seen you as family. You guys could see each other as family. They could also have wanted to have a family with you, or thought that they could have a family with you. But that's a little bit mirroring energy here. Let's see what else we got for this Cobra person. Thank you, Spirit, for this Cobra individual. We have memories. So very Six of Cups energy, reminiscing about the good old days, reflecting on just those good kind of sepia-toned times when things were simpler or nicer, or you guys got along better, that sort of thing. So definitely thinking and reminiscing and, you know, kind of lost in the good times. They have boundaries on the other side too. So, I mean, again, they could be having trouble keeping boundaries open or up, or trouble respecting your boundaries. Let's see what else comes out. This Cobra person. Ooh, obsession, huh? So they're definitely still into you, still thinking about you, still kind of going over, you know, maybe what went wrong or just you in general. I think you have sort of a strong effect, a strong pull on this person. And I think they think the world of you. It says infatuation, adoration, and addiction on here. So this person definitely has strong feelings for you still, even if you guys aren't really talking or communicating very much. But thank you, Spirit. Let's see what ends up on the bottom of the deck for this Cobra person, for our Capricorns. Thank you, Spirit. Broken, shattered, heartbroken, destroyed. So I feel like something had to have happened here. I mean, if you're walking away from this connection, if you're kind of leaving them behind, I feel like it's definitely had a very strong effect on them. And they're not doing good. They're feeling really broken and shattered. And there's a mirror on here and it's broken. And I already just talked about mirroring because you guys both had the family card. And I don't want every reading I do to be a twin flame reading, but I don't choose what energies come out for these readings. And I have channeled a lot of twin flame connections because I also have a twin flame. So it makes sense. So if you resonate with this being a twin flame reading, then mirroring is a big aspect of twin flames. And this mirror is broken. So it means the connection is working. You guys are triggering each other to learn and grow into better versions of yourself. And if it's not a twin flame connection, maybe it's a kind of like a high level soulmate kind of vibe. But in either case, like, you know, you guys have reflected things back at each other. And it's caused this person to, I guess, maybe not quite like what they see because this mirror is broken. And when I think of somebody breaking a mirror. I get that scene from like movies where someone's like standing in front and they're like stewing in front of it, and then they're just like, because they hate what they see. So I feel like that's kind of the energy that your person is in. Like they don't like where they are. They don't like what they see in the mirror. As a result of this connection, perhaps they're seeing things that they weren't really aware of before, perhaps that they do. But yeah, definitely dealing with some heartache, some heart pain on top of everything else. Cool. Let's see what else comes out for this Cobra person, please, Spirit. For this Cobra person, when it comes to this connection. What else do we have for this Cobra person? Pain. Ooh, Divine Masculine. Didn't I just talk about twin flames? Resistance. Ooh, foundations. One more, please, Spirit. I'm hoping. Wait, I wanted to see that one. Broken. And then, so on the bottom now, they have shallow. So feeling kind of hollow. Like, you know, they're not quite enjoying life very much because they're just not, again, they're not stepping into their fullest potential. That's what I get with this too. Like, I feel like they have so much potential, but they're not acting on it. They're not allowing themselves to fully grow and evolve. Again, you know, they're just sitting around waiting and not learning anything. But yeah, I feel like whatever they're doing, they're not having a great time. They're definitely feeling, again, not fully fulfilled with whatever they're doing right now. We also have, oh wait, hold on. Okay, there we go. First thing that came out for them was pain. So we had broken in their deck, and now we have pain. So this Cobra person is definitely going through a lot of pain right now when it comes to this connection, even if they're not outwardly showing it to you. We also have Divine Masculine, which is why I was just like, oh God, twin flame connections, because this came out. So this person could be working on their Divine Masculine energy. So that's, you know, taking charge of their own life, working on their career, trying to better their station in life, very 3D terms, because they're focused on their material world. So I feel like your person is definitely trying to step into their Divine Masculine energy, or they're in the process of it. Or you could see them as your Divine Masculine, which is why this is coming out here too. We also have foundations. So certainly trying to figure out how they can build up this foundation. Maybe, again, working on something that wastes your energy. But I feel like they're looking for security. They're trying to build security. Very, again, Divine Masculine coded. But at the same time, you know, they're still not learning anything. This Cobra in reverse has really got me here. So they're focusing on their foundations. They're going through a lot of pain, trying to step into this Divine Masculine energy. But I feel like they're meeting resistance, again, because they're not really doing any active work. They're just waiting. They're just sitting around and waiting for something to happen. We also have resistance here. So they're holding back from you in some way, shape, or form. They're not telling you everything. It says secret admirer, suppressing, and timid. So I feel like they're resisting these feelings that they still have for you. They don't want you to know that they still have these feelings for you. But they are still hoping that you guys can reconnect at some point. Maybe after they've got their foundations in order, or when they finally are able to really embody this Divine Masculine energy. I get the sense that they want to. They might be trying in some small ways, right? But again, without waiting, that waiting energy, they feel like they know it all already. They feel like they know what they have to do to get to the next place. And yet nothing's happening, right? Resistance. I feel like this is resistance from the universe too. to helping them level up because they're not doing the work. And the universe isn't going to just, I mean, for some of us it does, for the lucky few, but for most of us, we have to do the work of healing, cleansing, releasing, elevating, all that stuff before the universe will start providing us with opportunities that match our vibrations. But yeah, at the same time, you know, they want a firm foundation and they're hoping for a reconnection at the end of the day. So they are going through pain, even if they're wearing a mask, if you can't really see it, or if they're just acting indifferent to you. Know that they are in pain still, and they are hoping to reconnect. And they might be resisting that impulse, but that doesn't mean they're not feeling it still. All right, my friends, we're gonna go ahead and dive into this black egg energy a little bit more now, with a tarot pull. So thank you, Spirit. Let's go ahead and get a look at this black egg energy for our Capricorn viewers, for our Capricorns. Let's zhuzh it around as we do. Do one more. I've shuffled all these decks beforehand, but I like to be in the flow. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Spirit. For our black egg person. So right away we have Three of Wands. So this is about forward expansion and growth and like waiting for your ship to come in sort of vibes. We also have the Knight of Cups. So in many love readings, this points to like a message of love or an offer of love. But I feel like in terms of this energy that you have right now, I feel like this is you trying to follow your heart and follow your creative inclinations and follow your passions. That's what the Knight of Cups is all about. He follows his heart without any qualms about it. He doesn't care what other people think. He knows what he loves and he moves towards it gracefully, that gazelle energy, and wholeheartedly. So I feel like you're in a place of trying to follow your heart here. When it comes to this connection or when it comes to what you want outside of this connection. Thank you, Spirit. What else we have for this black egg energy? The Wheel of Fortune. So this is all about fate and karma, divine timing, all that stuff. So I feel like, you know, perhaps you feel like this connection was a karmic thing or fated in some way, necessary to teach you lessons to help you grow and elevate and change in your own ways. This could also be a sign that like good news is coming to you soon. So if you have been working on something, if you're waiting on like a job opportunity or a promotion or something along those lines, typically this is a good sign that the wheel is spinning in your favor. So I feel like whatever you are working on is kind of destined to be part of your story, your life. And if this person helped you get there, then they were also a fated connection meant to trigger you to grow and pursue your own things. So let's do one more cut and then we'll see what ends up on the bottom for you. Thank you, Spirit. One more cut for this black egg energy, please. Ooh, the Sun. So great card to have. I feel like this is very much you focusing again on your own happiness, what brings you joy and makes you feel optimistic about the future. This is also clarity. The sun shines light on everything that the moon hides or keeps hidden. So I feel like you're starting to see the truth of this connection. You're starting to see some clarity around who this person really is, perhaps, or, you know, at least the role that they play in your life and whether you want them to stay in that role or if you need to let them go, you need to release them. Like you're having that clarity and that sense of understanding. And yeah, focusing on your own joy and again, following your heart with that Knight of Cups. What makes you happy? Beautiful, beautiful energy. Thanks, Spirit. Let's look at the bottom of the deck and see what shows up for this black egg person. Ooh. King of Cups. So emotional mastery. This is the highest form of love in the tarot as well. But I get the sense that you are very much just kind of trying to keep your emotional center, even if the world around you is kind of chaotic at the moment. If you look at the King of Cups, all around him, he has all these kind of crazy waves, water, emotions. But despite all of that, he's still firmly grounded. He's got, huh. So chaos aside, emotional chaos aside, he's not bothered. That's what I was trying to say. He is unbothered by emotional chaos. He keeps his head above the fray. He keeps that higher perspective, that hawk energy again, right? Um, so yeah, I feel like even if things are kind of crazy for you, if you're, I mean, emotional storm, certainly go hand in hand here. But you're doing your best to stay above it, to keep your head level, and not let it get to you as much as maybe you have in the past. But thank you, Spirit. Let's go ahead and look deeper into this black egg person, please. This black egg energy for our Capricorns. Thank you, Spirit. That's a good one. One more, please, Spirit, for this black egg person. Thanks. So first things first, we have the Page of Swords on the bottom. So this is definitely kind of scoping energy, keeping your eye aware. It's not what I'm trying to say, but the Page of Swords is very much spying energy. So you could be keeping an eye on this person through social media, or through friends, or some other mutual connections. But this is also getting the lay of the land. That's what I was trying to say before. Scoping out the environment and seeing what, like, just before you take action, making a plan before you take action. So I feel like this is the energy, again, that you are in right now. You're kind of just taking scope of everything, keeping that higher perspective. That's energy. That is Page of Swords energy as well. But yeah, maybe coming to some realizations and some truths. That's stuff that the Swords suit talks about as well. But let's see what came out for you. Okay, so first things first, you got the Two of Pentacles. This came out crossing, so I'll talk to what that means energetically. But first and foremost, I feel like, you're trying to stay balanced. You're trying to figure out, how can you give equal importance to everything that you need to give importance to. Just trying to figure out how to manage material stuff. So if you're working on a creative project, you could just be figuring out how to, make things happen. You could be weighing options when it comes to this connection, like if you want to give this person another chance, if you want to let them go. But yeah, finding balance, trying to find balance. You have Two Pentacles cards here. But before I go to the second one, I do want to talk about what the Two of Pentacles means crossing. So crossing energy is a lot like reversal energy. For most cards, it's energy that can help or hurt you, depending on the context of the reading. So with the Two of Pentacles crossing, I get the sense that you're having maybe a hard time balancing things, or trying to figure out where your priorities really are, or where they should be. And that will certainly, hold you down or pull you down if you're not sure how you can progress past it, if that makes sense. So if you're getting bogged down in trying to find balance or in trying to figure out what the next best move to make is. I'm going to say trust your intuition because you also got the Queen of Cups, and we'll get to that. But yeah, finding balance in general is the key word, or the key words for the Two of Pentacles. But I get the sense too that you're working on something, you're trying to build a legacy, you're trying to work on something that's going to bring you and like future generations security, and you know, build a life that you're proud, that you can look back on and be proud of when you get to the other side of things. So I definitely see that you're probably working on something here, materially, if that's work or a personal project. I get the sense again that you might be having trouble balancing everything that you need to balance. But this is something that you are investing in for the long term, or that you want to see long-term growth from. And then with the Queen of Cups, this is again trusting intuition. This is leaning into your emotions, but staying grounded in them. You got the King and the Queen of Cups for your energy. So this is like complete emotional mastery, internally and externally. Being compassionate to those who need it. That's King energy, outward expansion of emotional energy. The Queen energy is more internal, trying to stay grounded within yourself. Healing too, that's Cup energy, the Queen of Cups. And trusting your intuition, leaning into your intuition. So this energy also came out crossing. So perhaps you're having a hard time trusting your intuition or leaning into where your heart wants you to go. Maybe you're second guessing yourself, or, you know, just feeling a little like not having faith is what I want to say. Like feeling like, oh, this won't work out, or I won't get anywhere with this. The Queen of Cups is here to remind you that you are, one, a queen, so don't forget that. Two, you have everything that you need within yourself to get where you want to go. You just have to trust yourself, trust spirit, trust all those messages and synchronicities that I know you're seeing with that hawk energy, and just stay above the emotional fray of this connection. Stay grounded in your emotions. Keep one foot on solid ground, at least. Both feet if you can swing it. But yeah, the Queen of Cups energy tells me that you are focusing on your own healing, that you are working on trusting your intuition and having faith in the universe, and are healing. Period. I mean, you have open heart and healing again on as your oracle cards, and they're both very Queen of Cups coded. So if you're having trouble leaning into your intuition, try to ground yourself in meditative practices. You know, quiet that mental chatter that, you know, can so often derail us and have us spiral into negative thought patterns and things that block us from our own abundance, because we're too busy trying to figure out the how, when that's the universe's job, right? All you need to do is show up and do the work and trust your impulses, and have faith. And wherever you're meant to go, if this one thing that you're working on is meant to be successful, then great. But if you're working on this thing and it doesn't pan out how you want, but you get a new idea that you wouldn't have had if you didn't go through the motions of this first one, and then maybe the second one is the one that gets you seen and pops off. Just saying, like, trust the road you're on right now. And even if the path doesn't seem clear right now, that's okay, because it will become clearer the more work you do. And again, even if that first thing doesn't work out, but it leads you to that second thing that does, that's part of the path. That's what the universe has planned for you. And you have to trust that if that's the case, or, you know, whatever the case is, that it's leading you, there you go, to where you're meant to be, to where you're supposed to be. So keep focusing on finding that balance, and keep focusing on the long-term goal, because that is what's going to kind of help push you through to the other side of this. But definitely stay connected to your King and Queen of Cups energy. Keep your head above the water. Don't let this connection kind of pull you down, even though I know you're kind of going through it in some way. Going through this emotional storm, you are still longing for this person, but you're way more focused on your own path forward, your own growth, your own healing. And if that means you have to release this connection in order to get there, then I see that's exactly what you're doing, despite the pain, because you're very much wanting to align yourself with living authentically and expressing truth and not being afraid to express truth. And yeah. Let's go ahead and look at your person's energy now, this Cobra energy. Thank you, Spirit. Let's go ahead and look at this Cobra person's energy. Please get a deeper look with 3 more tarot cards. Thank you, Spirit. This Cobra person's energy, please, when it comes to this connection. This Cobra person, please, Spirit. Woo, okay. Period. So on the bottom of their deck, they also have the Page of Swords, which you have on the bottom of your deck. You guys are mirroring each other. Let's see what underneath the, ooh. So underneath the Page of Swords for your deck, you have the Hermit. So I feel like you are doing a lot of self-reflection right now too. And what's under this person's? So this person is also scoping, also keeping an eye on you, maybe spying on you, trying to get the lay of the land. That's all Page of Swords energy. Thinking again without taking action. Thinking without taking action. They're also definitely very burdened at the moment. You know, they're carrying all these wands and they're just feeling overwhelmed. Like they can't move, they can't keep pushing forward, even though they're almost to their goal. It's hard to see on this card, but there's like a little house right there. And this person is making his way there. And he is almost there, but he can't see over the burden of the 10 wands he's carrying. But if he just keeps going, he'll get to his goal, this person's goal. But yeah, I get the sense that you're both keeping an eye on each other. You're both kind of getting the lay of the land here. The first card that came out for your person was the 7 of Pentacles, and it came out in reverse. So the 7 of Pentacles upright is about long-term investment, right? It's wondering, you know, it's having done all the work already and just waiting for the results to come through. When one of my favorite tarot readers that I like to watch, when this comes out, when he does readings, he says, is the juice worth the squeeze? That's what the 7 of Pentacles means upright. It's like, is all the work that I've done, is it going to be worth it in the end? But this card came out in reverse. And what it says here, it says lack of long-term vision, limited success or reward, or work without results or distractions. So I feel like your person feels like, you know, any investments that they've made, like just haven't paid off or aren't going to pay off. If they do the work, if they do any work, they're like, well, if I do all this and it doesn't go anywhere, then I've just, you know, wasted all that energy, right? So I feel like, you know, it's their own ego, right? That's kind of getting in their way of again learning these lessons that they need to learn and doing the work that they need to do. Again, they're just waiting and not taking any sort of action because they think they have it figured out already. But I don't think that they do. So yeah, it doesn't seem like this person has any long-term plans or a vision, a long-term vision. Maybe they feel like they don't really need one. Maybe they're just looking for like the next best thing. or like the next quick fix, like putting a band-aid over their problems, but not really doing the work to actually repair what's broken. So yeah, I feel like they're not really seeing that long-term potential for themselves. They're not really investing in that, right? Um, Maybe they're also being easily distracted by things right now and not doing the work. Again, just waiting for something to happen. And yet, they're determined to move forward because they have the Chariot here, which is all about forward progress and forward movement. But it's like they're moving forward without any vision. Like they're just trying to like strong arm something to happen, without kind of doing any actual work. But they do have a strong will. I'll give them that. That's something else that the Chariot talks about. So it's interesting. And they also have the Three of Wands, which is forward expansion and growth and movement, right? So that's the Chariot and the Three of Wands. So they're very focused on this moving forward. They're waiting on their ship to come in too. But they're doing so without any long-term plans. So it's interesting because they're trying to move forward, but at the same time they have no plans they have no long-term plans. They don't know what they're doing. They're just waiting. They're just waiting for something to happen. They want to have firm foundations. I think they want to step into this divine masculine energy, right? For themselves and perhaps for you in this connection. And they're in a lot of pain still, and they are hoping for a reconnection, even if they're, again, resisting talking to you or resisting expressing the truth of how they feel. They are still hoping for something good to come out of this at the end of the day. Yeah, they're determined to move forward, and they're, again, waiting on something to happen, but not necessarily doing the work, not necessarily, having the vision for something long term. It's very interesting. It's very masculine coded. You know what I mean? Like, if I just keep going, if I just keep pounding through these concrete walls, something will give eventually, something will come through. And like, yes, sure. I mean, that's probably true if you just keep working, keep doing it. But it gets to a point where you need to work smarter and not harder, right? So I feel like that's where they are. They're like charging forward and trying to move, but they keep hitting brick walls because they don't have any long-term vision or plan. So yeah, what I'm going to say, Capricorn, I'm pretty sure this is you. I'm pretty sure the black egg is you. I lost my train of thought. Keep doing your thing. Keep living in truth. Keep focusing on your authentic voice and leveling up in your own way, trusting your intuition, finding balance, even if it's just focusing on one task a day, if you're working on a long-term project here. Because you're focused on building your legacy, and your person is not, they don't have any long-term plans at all, it doesn't seem like. So you're focusing on your own healing, your own growth, and you do have a plan. You do have a long-term plan because you want to see the success, and you want to be able to look back when you've reached a ripe old age and be proud of the abundance that you've built for yourself and for your family, for the people who come after you. Keep healing, um, you know, and keep those boundaries. I remember the boundaries. Because again, this person will continue to drain and drain and drain you if you let them. Take your energy back. Keep your boundaries strong. Keep focusing on your project, your path forward, and it's going to help you get to where you need to go. And again, if that involves having to completely walk away from this connection, then you have to let yourself do that, because it doesn't seem like this person is gonna change anytime soon. I don't see that. Again, because of the Cobra in reverse, because of the Seven of Pentacles that came out in reverse. Again, it's like they're moving forward just to hit a wall because they have no plan to get around the wall. They're just trying to keep pushing through it. And that's exhausting, right? It's exhausting to watch, and it's exhausting to be a part of. It's exhausting to be the one that's doing that. But it's also exhausted to be empathetic to this person and to be able to feel what they're feeling. But again, if they're not doing the work for themselves, you can't force that to happen. You can't make that happen for them. Only thing you can focus on is yourself and your own plans, and yeah, releasing this connection for now, healing yourself, focusing on your own self-growth. And it may be hard. You may still have longings for this person or wish that this person can meet you where you're at currently, but they can't. They just can't right now. I hope that changes for you. I hope that changes for your person. I hope they get some direction. I hope they figure out a long-term plan, because you can only keep running into brick walls for so long, right? But anyway, yeah, that was your reading, Capricorn. I hope something in here resonated with you. If it did, I would love it if you would like and comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear if this resonated with you, or what resonated with you. We're going to close off your reading with one final piece of advice from the Wisdom of the Oracle Spirit deck. So thank you, Spirit. Can we please get one final piece of advice for our Capricorn viewer when it comes to this connection? One final piece of advice that they can leave this video with to just feel a little bit lighter when it comes to this connection. Woo. Thanks, Spirit. Let's see what came out. Well, on the bottom we have Unfinished Symphony. So if this is about this connection, then I feel like you guys are not quite finished. Things still need to play out. It feels like things need to come to a more precise conclusion, right? But your advice is actually soulmates. So this card doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means. I mean, it does in some respects, like a strong romantic connection. But what this means more than anything else is just that the universe brings people into your life in order to teach you things, in order to help you grow. So that could be what this connection was all about the whole time. Just you guys made a pact before you guys came into this life together, to help each other grow and evolve and change. And so many times that change and that growth comes through pain and trauma. I wish everything could just be beautiful and bright and happy all the time, but for some reason we don't seem to learn our lessons. They don't stick the same way when things are bubbly and happy. I guess we can only really learn from destruction and being kind of raised down. And I don't know. I wish it was easier. My life has been something else too. I certainly wish I could learn lessons the easy way. But Saturn is my chart ruler, so as a Capricorn, I'm a Capricorn rising, so I get you. I get the vibes. But let's look at soulmates. So we have the meanings, right? The essential meanings of the soulmate card is harmonious partnerships, love, friendship, companionship, and a relationship fostering personal growth, which is what we were just talking about, right? I feel like that is more in line with what this connection is. But the Oracle's message here is you are meant to evolve and transform with the companionship of others. Certain people enter into your life in order to take you to the next level of healing, consciousness, and authenticity. Healing, what else did it say? Hold on. Healing, consciousness, and authenticity. I had to throw this one up too because that's healing and such. But, period. Okay. It is always a reciprocal experience. Although the results for each of you will vary, you know these people by the strong pull drawing you toward them, and sometimes by a strong aversion to them initially too. Soulmates can be friends for life or remain in your life for only a short time. No matter what, you will be changed in ways you can't possibly fathom now. Pay attention to these people today. They are your greatest gifts. And I will read the relationship message here too, since this is a love reading, right? But it says here, consider love in the deepest sense. Love so powerful that you will never be the same, regardless of how long your relationship lasts. Consider friendships and romantic bonds so compelling that they overwhelm you with gratitude, or break you open so you will finally claim who you were meant to be. Even a companion animal reminds you that it is you who is being rescued and healed. Pay attention, for you are in the presence of a soulmate, come to guide you home to the real you. So yeah, this connection was meant to teach you lessons, Capricorn. So keep, learning those lessons, keep living in authenticity, keep focusing on your healing, keep focusing on your long-term goals, and you're going to get where you need to go. I promise. All right, my friends, thank you again for being here, and we're going to wrap it up here. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one, all right? All right, take care. Bye.